Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zaman Wheelchair on YouTube, and I'm back making another YouTube video, and I will continue to do so. And I have been making other YouTube videos recently. You might have noticed my Destiny gameplay with my cousin, my first impressions of it. And my first impressions video isn't very good because it sounds like I'm high on drugs because I was so tired. So that's always fun, sounding like you're high when you're actually not. Um, so yeah, you might notice that this is my new house. A lot of things have changed since then. And one of them is moving into a new place. God has provided yet again. God deserves all the praise for this. He's very amazing, and I don't usually talk about God too much on my YouTube channel, but hey, I don't care. It's my YouTube channel, and I feel like God deserves to be praised in anything that happens in my life, and this is one of them. He has placed awesome people in my life to be able to be my roommates and have similar interests and just similar backgrounds and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I'm also living next door to some awesome people that have really helped me in my life. I consider them my second family for sure, and God has used them as well. So let me talk to you guys about what I plan to do with this YouTube channel. I know I probably went over this briefly, but I'm going to go into this with some more detail and what I really want to do with this channel. Um, First off, the reason why I want to do this YouTube channel is hopefully someday or sometime down the road that I will be noticed for my content like everybody else. Not necessarily saying that I want to be noticed on YouTube just to do strictly YouTube videos. I don't really just want to do YouTube videos. What I want to do, honestly, because I think as Christians we kind of get a skewed view of, oh, since I'm a Christian, I can't really follow my dreams or my passions, and sometimes that can entail, for those that have grown up in a horrible lifestyle, like being a hood rat, like doing drugs and all that stuff. Um, some of those desires and passions are worldly, okay, and we have to choose to leave those behind. Now, there are some passions and desires and dreams of ours that can get in the way of God. Now, for a long time, I have tried to convince myself, okay, and I'm not saying that video games and all this stuff has not gotten in the way of God. Sure, it has, especially in the past. I was super addicted to video games and I didn't want to do anything but eat, breathe, sleep, and that's about it with video games. Like, eat, breathe, and sleep video games, okay? So, and some people might say, well, you still do that. Okay, whatever. Like, I'm not as tied to video games as I once was. Like, for example, I remember being at the Ward's house and they asked me if I wanted to play a card game, okay? And I said, no, I want to play Halo Reach. Screw you guys. I didn't know what to say. Screw you guys, but I might as well have. And, you know, it's because I wanted to play video games. That's all I wanted to do. Nowadays, I actually go out with people and actually am involved in society and get out and don't play caveman. And what I mean by that is just staying inside like an idiot and become an albino freak. I mean, my toes are already messed up, but that's only because I have cerebral palsy. So get over that. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, so I think for me personally, I think that God is giving me the okay in my life to pursue getting into the video game industry, and I'm going to do anything I can, um, with God's help, obviously, to get into this industry. Here is why I want to get into the industry. It's not just because I want to just make video games and make a bunch of money. Now, some people think that you can just become rich automatically when you get into this industry. No, not everybody makes big bucks in the industry, especially when your game doesn't do well. So you have to make sure you have a high quality game that will, surpass, um, the amount of money that you spent making it. So you have to make more, hoping that you make more than what you spent on making the game itself. That would include equipment and just the amount of hours you put into it and all that stuff. So, it's stuff like that. So you just got to make sure that you make more than what you did making the game itself. So anyway, so video games has always been a huge, huge passion of mine. Um, and the reason I say that is because I just get so excited every time a new game comes out. And I enjoy playing video games a lot. And I don't really get burnt out all the time on video games. There are some times when I do get burnt out. But for the most part, I'm very passionate. But let me get to what I was trying to say earlier. So the main reason I want to get into this industry is because, one, super passionate about it. That's obvious. Okay? Two, I want to include God in this industry somehow, some way, shape, or form. I want to include God in this industry because God has not really been in this. I'm not saying like God hasn't moved people to do this. Sure, I'm sure He has. But if you look at books, movies, music, and all that stuff, all those mediums of any type of media or any type of entertainment, movies, TV shows, books, but where are the Christian, I say that kind of loosely because some people don't like that word, because it instantly drives away certain people groups. And I see where some bands that are Christians that don't outwardly say they are Christian bands because they don't want to, drive unbelievers away from listening to their music. I understand that. But for me, I think I want to make it known that I am going to make a game about God. It's not going to be called a Christian game necessarily because the word Christian means Christ follower, and really, people are the only ones that follow Christ, not objects. I like to be kind of literal when I say that kind of thing. But anyway, so I want to get in this industry because God's not the forefront in video games. He's not ever really been talked about or addressed in video games. Nobody has really made a legit, awesome game about God, like, ever. Except for the one game that was way back when on Super Nintendo, I remember it, or Nintendo. It was Noah's Ark, and you put the animals on the boat. That was cool. That was great, okay? But I want to make a game that will entertain the people of today. And today, we all know people love graphics, people love great gameplay, great story. As far as I'm concerned, I love great story. And I want to give people a different perspective on God in the spiritual realm as well. So whatever I have to do that, I will do it. God will reveal it to me in time, obviously. And I just want to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to see where God takes me. Whether that includes going to school, and doing whatever I can to get in the industry itself. I'm just tired of having to live other people's dreams out for myself. I don't want to live my friends' dreams out. My parents' dreams out, or anybody else's dream. I want to live my dream out and what God has for me. I want to do what God wants me to do, and I feel like the video game industry is the right pick for me. I just don't see the point in trying to avoid something that I am very passionate about. And the other side of it too is I'm very passionate about God. So why not mesh those two things together and make something awesome? Okay? I'm just so sick and tired of trying to put things that I want to do on the back burner because, oh, well, this person might not approve of this. or this person might not approve of this. You know what I say to those people? I'm saying, forget that and do what God tells you to do. Worry about what God says about you, and worry about what God wants you to do, not your friends, family, or anybody else for that matter. As long as God is, you feel like, well, you have to know that God is really calling you there. And how do you know that? You'll be able to tell, and God will lead you in the right direction. God has led me here in this house for a reason, and He placed me next to the wards for a reason. Because, well, one, I can go to church with them. I can, hang out with them a lot more. Be connected with good Christian people. That's what I wanted, and that's what I got. You ask, and you shall receive. So I'm asking God to help me figure out a way to get in the video game industry the best way possible, and figuring out where I fit in the video game industry, whether that's writing the stories out, or coming up with the ideas, or anything like that. There's so much more to do in the video game industry now. Video games have come so far from what they were before. They're no longer, these 16-bit games or whatnot. They're almost like movies that are interactive movies, and it's just so great to see how far they've come. I know this is kind of a lengthy video, but I hope you guys enjoy, and I just want you guys to know that make sure you're doing what you feel like you're supposed to be doing in life. Don't try to let people tell you what you should and should not do. So, I would just like to, end this video saying God bless and have a great rest of the day. And I will be back making other videos.